What's going on, YouTube? FG3000, I'm back in the place to be. And today, we're back in Final Fantasy, and we are in the very first dungeon of Final Fantasy. And if you're new to my gladiator, Zerola, I'll kind of go through my rotations, kind of let you know what I'm doing on the next pack mob. But for now, just enjoy the pyrotechnic display. Alright, let's go ahead and switch targets there. And take out these ferocious bats. it's if you ever played Final Fantasy XI back in the day, I don't know if it's still like that, but when Final Fantasy XI first came out, all the first initial mobs were things like bunnies and bats and turtles. And this first dungeon gives me flashbacks to all those little. I don't know why they always do that. Who wants to fight little bats? But I can assure you the later dungeons don't have, well, I mean, they have a little bit of them, but they look a lot cooler than just this little small bat. But anyway, to go through my rotation, right now I'm just doing just a basic DPS rotation because it looks like my party members are assisting me. So I have a move called Fast Blade, which I link into Riot Blade if I want to do damage. Riot Blade also restores my MP. And sometimes I also do Fracture. Oh, come back here, aggro. Uh-oh, pay attention. Get back here. Oh, my group's losing faith in me already. I'm going to have to get that back. Sorry, guys. Right now, there's no snap aggro. Gladiators do get a snap aggro move, but you just don't have it at this level. Alright, so let's do this correctly. So I'm going to pull these mobs over here with a move called Shield Lob. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to round them up, and then I'm going to hit this move called Flash, which is an AoE taunt, and it also blinds them. So I'll do that a couple times, and then I'll go into Fast Blade, and I'll link it into Savage Blade. Fast Blade is just damage, and Savage Blade is damage plus aggro. And that's the basic rotation there. If I run low on MP, I'll go Fast Blade into Riot Blade, and like I said, Riot Blade does damage, and it also grants me MP back. And that's the basic rotation as far as Gladiator goes. Switch targets, do a Fracture, into Fast Blade, into Savage Blade. I have a move called Fight or Flight that increases my damage, so I can pop that and then do more damage if I choose to. Also have a thing called Shield Bash, so if this thing gets a little unruly, be like, calm down, buddy! And that's a little, I think about a 3-second stun. Yep, a 3-second stun there. If the going gets tough, I have Rampart, which deletes. Deletes your character when you press it. It gives your character 20%. What is it? 20% less damage for 20 seconds, which is awesome. And also, I got more abilities. Hold on. Let's just make sure we get the aggro on this one. And I also have this move called Bloodbath, which when I pop Bloodbath, it all the attacks that I do grant me life back. So it's kind of like a Death Knight type ability. Every time I hit, I get life back. And that's pretty much the rotation. Last but not least, Mercy Stroke, which is my execute ability. You hit this, and if you kill the enemy with it, it gives you 20%. It gives you 20. I'm freaking paralyzed from those jellyfish. It gives you 20% of your HP back if you finish them off with it. If not, you just do damage. Alright, so there was these clams in this dungeon over here. So with these clams, just ignore these Shade Seekers, because they'll just keep on spawning out of this clam's mouth. So you just want to kind of just focus only on the clam. And while it closes its mouth, it's invulnerable. So, you know, might as well auto attack it, but don't use any of your actual abilities on it, obviously, since it's invulnerable. But don't worry about these little Shade Seekers running around. They are regular old mobs, so your party members should be able to kind of fend for themselves on it. There's really no sense in trying to go crazy trying to keep aggro on those things because they're super weak. They're not elites. How did I miss this thing over there? Ooh, look at that. I'll show you a little tip there a little later. Come over here! I don't know why this thing's not coming over here. And back to the rotation. Looks like my teammates are going to fight this fossil shell, so I'll switch. Fracture into Fast Blade into Savage Blade. And that aggro is mine, and the same thing on that one. Fracture, Fast Blade, and I'm just going to do Riot Blades, because I'm not going to lose aggro anytime soon. And then, Mercy Stroke! Well, the cool thing I was showing you, when you hover your mouse over it, you see those little lines? This lets you know which mobs are going to link together when you pull them, so that's actually pretty cool. But like I said, skip those stupid mobs. Go right for the clam. Go right for the clam. That's what I'm going to tell my son one day. There you go, giant clam. And he's dead. Check out these Shade Seekers. And pretty simple. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. My team can handle that. So I'm going to face pull these guys with some flashes. He should come back. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes, you know, it's just like any other game. Sometimes you'll have aggro, but the enemy will still walk a little bit. So just be patient. They typically come back if you know that you hit them with your taunt ability. And here right now, since I flashed them so many times, like Mardi Gras, I'm not actually using my Savage Blade. I'm just using a Riot Blade. Because I shouldn't. My DPS plus those flashes should be enough to keep the aggro on me, and it looks like it is. Same thing here. Riot Blade to the face! So early on, I didn't really like Gladiator, but I have a tomboy haircut, but I assure you that I'm a lady. Fire in my face, can't see? Whatever. Y'all seen my character before. The Gladiator is starting to come to its own. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more as I'm starting to get more abilities, and then I'm also using a lot of abilities from my Marauder class. See, he'll come back. I'm gonna do a couple more flashes since this guy was late to the flash party. Hey guys, I'm gonna hit my Rampart, and then I'm also gonna hit Bloodbath because I'm getting a little low, and that should keep me nice and healthy. And then I'm gonna switch targets. And I should have switched targets a little bit earlier, but a little tip for if you've never really tanked before is to switch targets before the mob dies, and that's for two reasons. First of all, you don't need to be on the target, your DPS will finish it off, but also what that does is if you can start putting a little damage on the next mob, typically your DPS will see, hey, there's a mob that's already been weakened, let's go ahead and fight that one. What is this guy doing? What the? I'm trying to give tips and this guy's running off and doing other stuff. But typically your DPS will see that, hey, there's a mob that's been taking damage. Let's go ahead and switch to that one. That, you know, that gives you it gives you a little bit of control in the group indirectly without having to type, hey everybody, fight this, or having to mark, that kind of stuff. Anything that makes the group run smoother without having to do manual labor and manual typing, I'm all about it. Hey, look at that clam closed up right before I came over. That's typical. Welcome to my life. As you see, these Shade Seekers do pretty much no damage. Look at this guy. He thinks he's a beast. That shows you how little damage that they do. This Arcanist is just going off tanking with his little cute little carbuncle. Speaking of which, so on our team here we have an Arcanist. We have, I think this is a Thermogaturge. One more. Arcanist, Thermogaturge, and then of course a Conjurer who is the healer. And I don't know why Square decided that Conjurer is the only class that could heal in these low-level dungeons. You can definitely heal with pretty much any of those caster classes. So, I don't know the gimmick to this. One of these things spawns a switch, and I just randomly guess. I don't even know. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. If you're wrong, only thing that happens is that you some mob spawn, and you get to pick again. It's not that big of a deal. But I don't really know which one you're supposed to press, or how you're supposed to know which one to press. Anyway, so here is the first boss of the very first dungeon. His name is Chopper, and he is what you would expect for a very first dungeon type boss. I mean, his mechanics are super easy. Almost impossible to lose aggro on him. He doesn't really do anything. He's just gonna stand there. He's gonna jump up and down every now and then. But I'll show you a trick. As long as the red circle's gone, you can walk back in, and you're not gonna take damage. So I'll show you that again if Chopper isn't already dead. So walk out of the red circle. As soon as it's gone, you can walk back in. So even though he's doing his animation of firing off, as long as you were out of the red circle before the ability goes off, you're good. And that's that. First boss down. Let's see what kind of treasure we got. We have some pants, which is that? Oh, need. I'll take those pantaloons. And if you are a main class that uses these, for example, if you're a gladiator, marauder, paladin, or warrior, you automatically get need on it, and no one else can roll need on it. So it's a pretty cool system. I'm gonna go ahead and equip those bad boys right now. Got me some new pantaloons, look exactly like my old ones, but whatever. Alright, so we're out of that part of the dungeon, and we're gonna fight some a little bit cooler mobs. I want to go over here because I know these scurvy dogs come with it. Come back here. He should come back. Yep, see that? I flashed him. He's like, whoa, let me come back and check that out. Yeah, tricked ya. Alright, I'll do a couple more flashes. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch targets. Once again, like I said, I'm switching targets a little slow, but you get the idea. Switch targets, start doing some DPS on the next mob. That way your DPS kind of, you know, inherently know which mob they should be fighting next. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and switch. And that is that. See ya. Alright. So this little purple line right here signifies that there is a dungeon, or not a dungeon. It signifies that this is going to be a boss fight. So what I'm going to do, just real quick, just mark these two right there. This fight isn't so difficult that you have to mark targets, but it just makes it a little bit easier for me. That boss should come back. Look at him. Give him another flash. And then let's go ahead and start fighting these. Wow, the DPS waited until I started doing damage. Did you see that? What world am I in? Oh my god, these DPS are awesome. That is super impressive. I haven't seen that outside of guild runs, you know what I mean? Or free company runs, whatever. Alright, so that guy's dead. And on to the next one. So this is Captain Madison. He's the second boss in this dungeon. Doesn't really have any gimmicks, so really you're just going to just DPS him down. I'm not even using my aggro move Savage Blade. I'm just basically just riot blading him to death. And there he goes. See ya! Having some trouble there, buddy? There's the next treasure, and it's a bow, which I'm going to go ahead and hit greed on. Obviously, everybody in the game can use every piece of equipment. I do plan on playing an archer one day, so I'd love to have it, but if someone actually needs it, they'll get it. Alright, so this next area, I'm going to go in this side room, because sometimes in this little room there is some treasure. And in this game, I'll show you in a second. Alright, let's go ahead and switch. Mercy stroke! Ah, premature. In this game, I just want to see if there's any treasure in here. If there's not, we're not going to go in there. Alright, there's no treasure in there. Oh, there's treasure in here. So in these dead-end rooms sometimes, there is treasure to be found. So you can speed run through dungeons if you'd like to. But if you actually go into all the little dead-end areas, the little nooks and crannies of the dungeons, there's typically treasure to be found in there. And there are some instances where the treasure in these dungeons, the treasure that's in these dead ends, and here's a good example, is the equivalent to the gear that drops off of bosses. So I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice if you skip through a dungeon. Because look at this, it's a helmet, I already have it, but it's a pink helmet, which is the equivalent to a rare. Where'd that guy go? What the? And I'm gonna go ahead and pass on it. But that's a really good example. There's no reason to go into that room at all. Other than, you know, finding treasure and whatnot. Yeah. I'm just gonna kill these things just because. Why not? Let's go over here next to this range mob. Give him a couple flashes. Give him one more flash. And then let's go in. Uh-oh. Ads! Don't worry, guys. I'm here. The Flash, everybody. Mercy stroke. Premature. I need to get the timing down on my mercy stroke. It's not like execute, and it is exactly like execute from World of Warcraft, but it's not, because you can spam execute, right? In this game, it is on a 90-second cooldown. So once you mercy stroke and the mob isn't dead, you're not going to be mercy stroking him anytime soon. So it's kind of, you really have to get the timing down to make sure that you finish them off with it. Even if you don't, you still get, the damage out of it. But it'd be nice to be able to get the damage and the healing from it. I'll just throw a shield at him, finish him off. Switch. Alright, one of those mobs dropped the captain's key, which we'll need to get into the captain's room, obviously. And that's the end of that scurvy dog. Alright, so, same deal. This is another dead end. And so is this one. Actually, let's follow this little guy just to make sure he doesn't get in any danger. It's pretty easy to snipe this treasure chest out of here. But this is a big tavern fight. These guys, as soon as you come in, they start fighting each other, so you can walk in and steal this treasure chest, which, once again, good example, is actual decent loot, once again. So I'm just going to hit greed on that, because I do want a caster one day. And you don't have to fight those. So you can just walk in, take the treasure, and walk out. And yet another dead end with some treasure at the end is over here. Switching to this little shallow-eyed reaver. And this is the key to the hole. Not the key to your hole, but the key... Oh, wow. I think that's enough for those types of jokes in this video. I've exceeded my 3 limit. No more than 3 endo windows per video. That's my saying. Alright, so we got the key to the hole. Or, I can actually... Well, I didn't click it. Will somebody else open the hole up? And once again, it's just some treasure here at the end. It doesn't matter who picks it up. I'll just let this guy. He's such a good looter lately. Every single thing he's opened, we've gotten some good loot out of it. So, let's see what the? Again? Nice. This doesn't really happen. Alright, so the next thing is this captain's quarters over here, which we got the key for earlier. Now I'm gonna go switch there. All I really want is my armor. I ran this place for over 8 hours yesterday. What? Wow, really? Well, I guess he's DPS, so it felt like 8 hours to him because it took him an hour to get in. So he really only ran it about 4 times. So yeah, if you're DPS, just count on waiting for an hour or so to get into a dungeon. I mean, that's, you know, that's nothing new to anybody. So here's another mid-boss. No gimmick, just a, you know, little tank and spank fight here. Alright, I've done about 3 or 4 Savage Blades to him. Now I'm just going to do Riot Blades for the rest of this fight. And like I said, I'm so far ahead on aggro, and my damage should keep me above, so I'm not worried about this guy running around. And Savage Blade does about 30 more damage than Riot Blade does more damage than my Savage Blade. I'm not sure about how much, but alright, there goes the Wave Rider key. I'll take that, buddy. You've been doing such a good job looting treasure chests. I'll pick up the key for you. Yep, that flash move isn't very flashy, pun intended. But I definitely like the fact that it does a blind. Ah, what the? Oh, it doesn't do a blind. Ah, I'll tell you something here in a second. One thing I don't like about Final Fantasy is its level down mechanic. It's not as intuitive as it could be. So basically right now, my gladiator is really level 21. But in this dungeon, I'm leveled down to 18. Now, typically in most games, it levels down your gear and your power, that kind of thing, but it always lets you keep all of your abilities. Well, luckily for me, all these abilities are post 18 or pre-18, pre-level 18. However, at around level 20 something, I get an ability called that increases my flash to add blind to it. So I get basically a flash 2. And now my flash, when I'm normal level, not only does it flash them, but it also blinds them as well. So I'm not getting that effect because I'm leveled down, which, I don't really like that. I want to be able to know that all my abilities are always the same and just lower my damage, you know what I mean? But whatever. It only becomes an issue when, for example, let's say my shield bash is level 30, and you go into a level 20 dungeon trying to shield bash people, and you can't do it because you're leveled down. That's the part that's really annoying. Oh, there goes Captain Madison there. Who's over there DPSing Captain Madison? Should be fine. Like I said, no snap aggro at this level, so you kind of have to be patient and try to get him back. So, once again, this is Captain Madison. That sword looks familiar, doesn't it? Look at that sword. Nice sword there, buddy. Looks like I stole it from you before. Yes, he does drop that sword. Actually, anybody can drop that sword. In this game, the loot tables are a little different. There's no specific dungeon loot. Hold on. Wow. We did a limit break on those. So there's no specific dungeon loot early on in the early dungeons. I don't know if that changes later on. I'm pretty sure it does. But in the first couple of dungeons, they all share the same loot table, so you can get the same loot from any of those dungeons. So I actually got, ooh, what a downgrade. Okay, so it's 5 less block strength, but way more block rates. That's actually a good trade-off, actually. So I get a little less, oh no, I thought it was 5 less block strength. Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna try it out. See if I notice a difference. So I get more, huh. Very interesting. Not sure how I feel about that just yet. I want to analyze that further. Alright. Mercy stroke! Ah, premature again! I like how these little scurvy dogs have a little bandana on them. Like, they're pirates too. That's funny. Alright, let's take this guy. Take that guy. Let them come together. Do a couple of flashes. And start DPSing them down. I do like the way the shield looks over the other one. I guess that's an upgrade, right? Because if you block more, inherently you're going to be taking less damage. That's a very interesting little lateral side grade type of item. But since I like how this one looks more, I will go ahead and use this one. Alright. I guess we'll just DPS this down really fast. So, like I said before, and a lot of the dead ends, there's treasure to be found. I've cleared out this area over here, and I haven't seen any treasure spawn in that area. So, you can just skip that. And I am. We're going to face pull these bad boys over here. What's up, everybody? Hey, you. Don't you see your friends over here getting beat up? One more flash. Alright, here we go. I am shocked that the DPS wait until I start attacking. That's incredible. Wow, this is a good group. Alright, let's switch over here. Mercy stroke! Oops, I was just about to switch. I can't even click them. And that's the end of that. Alright, so I'll go ahead and skip this. So you don't get any of your any of your cutscenes spoiled. Once again, purple line means this is going to be a boss. Make sure everybody's in, so we're going to wait for our cleric over here. He's watching the cutscene. Come on in, Bloodmire. Alright, so this is the last boss of the very first dungeon, so keep that in mind. It's not going to be super, you know, hard. You can ignore the gimmick and still beat the fight pretty easy. So, I'm going to start in, doing some damage, getting some aggro. If you notice, there are these unnatural ripples around the map, all around. And those may be integral to the fights. Let's watch. Alright, where it is? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there's one over here. As you can see, they start rippling. And look at these great DPS over here. They go over there, all they have to do is click it and close the ripples down, and that will prevent mobs from spawning out of them. Now, don't fret if something actually does spawn out of them. They're not really powerful. I'm actually going to... Oh, never mind. Look at this. DPS go. Good job, guys. Wow. Man, this is a great group. Typically when I get groups, they just ignore the mechanic and just fight. Hey. Ah. He's not DPS. He doesn't count. He's a cleric. Anyway, I'll go ahead and pick this guy up. Hit him with the shield bash. Hit him with the shield bash. And just DPS him out. But as you can see, if you don't close the little ripples, mobs spawn out of them. But they're so weak. Like I said, this is not one of those mechanics that if you mess up, your team's gonna wipe. But I can see if Square decides to use this gimmick in later dungeons, I can see that this being, you know, pretty much game ending. Gonna flash a few of these guys because I'm out of TP right now, so I'm just using mana. And that's something I didn't explain, but we'll explain it next time. Mercy Stroke! But all my abilities use TP except for Flash. So at certain points while you're tanking something, if you run out of TP, you can switch to moves that use MP, and that way you can kind of balance those two out to make sure that you're keeping aggro and doing damage. But that is it. Very first dungeon down. Yeah! I love the little victory dance at the end. So that is it. Last treasure chest of the dungeon is some mittens. I'm just gonna hit greed. I don't really care. Oop. I'll take them for my alts for later. Anyway, guys, so that was the very first dungeon. It is called Sastasha, whatever. Anyway, my name is FG3000. Hope to see you next video. Like I said, we'll be going through all the dungeons and all the trials of Final Fantasy XIV. It's a blast. Check the game out. I think tomorrow the new servers come out. So I'll let you know if the stability of the servers improve, because right now you really can't even get onto the game. If you try to log on, it'll pretty much tell you, sorry, servers are full. So I'll let you know if the server situation improves tomorrow. But anyway, until then, my name is FG3000, and I will see you next time. I'm out.